licensing, particularly in application virtualization or general virtualization, some of Microsoft licensing is full of challenging fine print, which for some of us is difficult to work our way through. And if I'm brutally honest, when we are audited by your esteemed colleagues, occasionally they focus on trying to trip us up on the fine print, which we're not trying to do. But I would appreciate your thoughts on simplifying the licensing applications and the licensing process.
Change my answer after the rousing applause you got. Let me say something. I don't anticipate a big round of simplifying our licenses. I'll explain why in just a minute. It turns out every time you simplify something, you get rid of something. And usually what we get rid of, somebody is used to keep their prices down. So, and I mean this seriously, the last round of simplification we did of licensing was 6 years ago, and I got more negative, and the license, I guarantee you, was simpler when we were done, but it turned out that a lot of the footnotes, a lot of the fine print, a lot of the caveats were there because somebody had used them to reduce their cost. So, I'm not sure the goal is, I know we would all like the goal to be simplification, but I think the goal is simplification without price increase. And our shareholders would also like it to be simplification without a big price decrease. So what we're really trying to do is help people use the products and use the licenses the way we intend. There may be fine print that sometimes is a gotcha that's deliberate, and sometimes it's a gotcha that our people are finding and shouldn't be out kind of hassling about. Specific feedback is welcome, because anytime we embark on, and we have looked at it recently, should we simplify our licensing? Almost always it comes back to things that people use to reduce their price. Let me just give an example. We have with our SQL Server product the ability for customers to license it per processor or to license it per server and pay CALs. The simplifying thing would be to eliminate one. Of course, why do customers like what we have? They hate what we have. We have two forms, but the customer always finds the approach on which they pay us less money. So if you run a chain of 100 small restaurants, you kind of like this server CAL thing because it's cheaper per restaurant than the per proc thing. On the other hand, for a guy who wants to build an application that maybe 30,000 people will use in a big company, the per proc thing looks cheap. And I'm sure we have fine print we don't need. I'm not trying to say we are saints. I am trying to say that if we're going to do any kind of simplification, we need to be driven by things customers want us to do as opposed to driven by kind of the purity of the art of simplification. Because last time we did that, I'd say we succeeded on simplification and our customer satisfaction numbers plummeted for 2.5 years. So don't want to do that again. If people do have specific things that you think where we're just complicated or we have provisions that really seem to drive cost that is unnecessary, again, I really do encourage you to send me a piece of mail. I deal with the specifics probably better than I deal with the principles, because I feel caught in a bind on the principles, as I just explained.